Welcome to Tonikaku Kawaii chapter 189, brought to you by not Tonikaku Scans. They haven't uploaded a chapter in 2 weeks. To be honest here, I don't have any idea what's going on, and I kinda don't want to know, okay? It's actually brought to you by the guy that did it last time, user/MetalGU. Thank you to him, alright? So, I have no anime review for you. I'm sorry, I know, it's like literally the only good thing about this, because, yeah, no, I haven't been watching a lot of anime. My life has been getting pretty busy, alright? So, I'm sorry about that. Anyways, apart from that, there's nothing interesting for me to say, so let's just jump right into the chapter. The chapter starts right off where 188 ended, meaning that they're basically trying to look for the mysterious thing that Tokiko left behind for them. Now, they also explain to Chitose that, hey, just saying, Tokiko may or may not have left something really important in here, so we're kind of looking for it, right? Now, Chitose, she has no idea that NASA already kind of has a clue on where it is, right? And she's like, oh, okay, let's just split up and try to find it. And NASA's like, that's great and all, Chitose, but I kind of already know where it is, right? Just Chitose gets mad at him. It's like, come on, you never tell us anything, whatever. So basically, they all go into this specific room that NASA, has an idea on where it is, right? Now, Chitose still doesn't really believe NASA. She's like, are you sure? Are you sure that it's here, right? And, he's like, yeah, no, I think I'm pretty sure that it's here, right? Chitose, she's like, so how do you know that? Like, maybe you're wrong. You never know, right? Now, he's like, okay, I'll explain it for you. This house has been abandoned for, like, what? Forever, okay? It's been abandoned since God knows how long, all right? Now, you do realize, if you look at the clock, it's still going. The clock is still going. Everything else has stopped except that clock. That specific clock alone is doing something. It's working just fine, right? Now, apparently, now everyone realizes this, and everyone's just, their mind is blown, right? I mean everyone, I mean Chitose. She's like, oh my god. Right? Mind blown, right? Now, Tsukasa-chan, she's like, sweetie, I don't mean burst your bubble, sweetie, but like, I think the clock runs on batteries. Now, NASA is actually trying to explain to himself why it's probably the clock that has a secret to it, right? He's like, so maybe Kaguya also realized that there's something related to that clock somewhere without needing any clues, right? Because, come on, Kaguya is smart. She must have realized that, she knew that the house was old, okay? And then there's just the clock just going and going, right? she must have realized that something was wrong, right? So, Tsukasa-chan, she's like, so You found a clue, right? NASA, he's like, I think so, right? He's just thinking about it. He's trying to think of a reason why the hint is probably the clock or something, right? He's like, I don't know, maybe Tokiko and Shiori had like a really hard time trying to think of like a good clue that, could be important, right? They didn't want it too easy to, basically make it the most unfun secret ever, right? But they didn't want to make it too hard that, like, I don't know, it would have never been found, right? So, maybe, just maybe, the clue was probably similar to her name, alright? To be honest here, I'm gonna be honest here, I have no idea how he got from Tokiko to, like, time into, you know what? NASA, you do you, alright? The guy must have done like 15 million mental gymnastics or something along those lines to even get to that point, but you know what? We're just gonna say it, right? Now, Tsukasa-chan and Chitose, like myself, are also like, okay, how did you do those mental gymnastics? Because I don't know how you got from Tokiko to the clock having a secret. I have no idea how you got that, sweetie. What are you going on, right? Now, NASA's like, now listen, to be honest here, I could be wrong, it could be underneath anything. It could be behind a brick. It could be behind a wall. No one knows, right? But he's like, at least you kind of have to try, right? He's like, they gave me a key, for God's sake, right? Every door, there is no door out here that uses that specific key, right? So maybe it's in the clock, you never know, right? Everyone else is like, they're doubting NASA. They're like, oh, that doesn't really sound correct. Now, while Scuzza-chan and Chitose are still basically doubting NASA, they're still like, I don't know, that doesn't seem legit, alright? NASA doesn't care. He, I think, grabs a brick or something, I don't know. He just plops it down on the floor. He grabs the clock off the wall, right? Now, apparently, NASA was right, okay? He turns around the clock and there's like a little note attached to it, right? Basically saying the answer is in the heart of time with a little like a heart drawing and like a signature. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know how to read Japanese, and I'm guessing that I'm just going off my estimation, my educated guesses, if you will. I'm assuming that it's Tokiko that wrote that. And if I'm wrong, then my god, I don't know a thing or two about this series, right? But that doesn't matter, okay? So, Nance is surprised as well. He's like, oh my god, I got it right. And he does his little cute face. Oh my god. Tonikaku Kawaii does some of the most beautiful little cute chibi faces ever, okay? Hada, keep doing them. You know what? If we could have an entire chapter of them, I'm not complaining because they're all beautiful. Alright, so basically, Scuzza-chan and Chitose, they're like, oh, it was actually there the whole time. Huh. Alright, now Scuzza-chan, she's like, okay, that's great and all, fantastic, but like, what is it? What does this have to do with anything, right? Now, NASA is like, to be honest here, kind of have no clue what's going on, alright? Maybe it could have something to do with, like, the little necklace, the pendant that we got, the one that has the little SD data in it, and maybe it could be part of a machine, who knows, really? So, they're like, oh my god, maybe it could actually be part of a machine. Listen, you never know with Tokiko. Now, Scuzza-chan, she replies with, listen, sweetie, I'm gonna be honest here, I don't even know if you're correct, okay? Why would Tokiko even do that in the first place, right? Oh, sorry. Now, NASA, he's like, you know what? That's a good question, alright? How about, crazy idea here. How about let's go into Tokiko's shoes, okay? And basically think about it, alright? So, basically, NASA's like, maybe from her point of view, she knew that this task was going to be very hard, okay? Possibly impossible, alright, and he's like, I'm not sure you'll really notice this, Scuzza-chan, but like, maybe she's trying to, like, symbolize something, maybe she's trying to say that, like, this is kind of like Scuzza-chan's wish, like, your whole wish of going to the moon. It's basically going to be kind of impossible to complete. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, with all the things that SpaceX and the weird company that Jeff Bezos has, the Blue Orbit thing, or basically the spaceship that looked like a dick, okay? The one that Jeff Bezos, like, flew on, right? You know that this world does not have that, or if it does, it's like cheap, like really expensive, right? Because I'm surprised that they haven't even dwelled on that thought yet, that like, oh, maybe we could just buy a ticket from like SpaceX or the Blue Orbit thing. I honestly no idea what the Jeff Bezos company is, right? Maybe they could have just bought that, and bam, we're just done with the entirety of the series. That probably would have been like a good April Fool's chapter, but like, that wouldn't really make sense. But whatever, fan theories aside and just terrible, like, ideas, let's just jump into the main chapter, right? Now, Ness is like, once you think about it, that's really smart. He's like, I'm gonna be honest here, I'm not sure that I have the mindset to deal with such a genius like her, right? The fact that she probably thought of all of this and stuff like that, right? Now, we cut to NASA's basically inner thoughts, right? She's like, this isn't telling me anything at all. Nothing, okay? I am learning jack shit about this, okay? But maybe you're just as smart as Tokiko and Kaguya, NASA. Maybe. Just a maybe, right? And she kind of just gives off like this little cute little smile of hers, right? Very wholesome, right? She's like, you know what? Yeah, I think you're right. You know what? I don't think you're smart. You're as smart as Tokiko or Kaguya. But I think you're almost as smart as them. Alright? Now, Nancy's like, what? After finding the note behind the clock, they proceed to go outside where Charlotte is outside. Charlotte is one of the maids. Hopefully you remember that. I certainly did not remember her name from the last episode, which was really embarrassing, but whatever, right? So Charlotte, she's like, alrighty, kids, we have everything ready, okay? So don't worry about it, alright? It might take a little bit of time to, get everything out, but don't worry, we have everything, okay? And then she gets a little more serious to Skessa-chan. She looks at her and she's like, hey, Skessa-chan, are you sure that you have everything? I kind of don't really want to leave anything behind because I kind of don't want to come back to this place. This place kind of gives me the bad vibes. Skessa-chan, she's like, oh, don't worry about it. You can leave everything behind. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna leave this place to nature. Leave it in the quiet forest that it is. All right. Charlotte, she's like, oh. Okay, understandable. Have a nice day. You know what? Just be careful, give it a proper goodbye and a send-off because I don't want to go here again, but I see how it is, right? So, Nash is listening to all of this, right? And, he's like, he's thinking, and he's like, oh, hey, Skessa-chan, great idea here, okay? How about we can finally take a photo of you, all right? Now, let's take the photo here at the Kumar Mansion, just for memory's sake, right? Now, Skessa-chan, she's like, oh, that's actually a good question, right? They're like thinking of places on where to like take the photo, At one point they're like, oh, how about we do it in the living room, all right? And then they're like, sounds like a bad idea, right? So instead of doing it in the living room, Charlotte, she's like, oh, how about we do it at the porch, all right? So Charlotte grabs the camera and basically Nasa, Skessa-chan, and Chitose, they all just pose together in front of the porch, right? And, they take a photo. Very, very good photo. Really like it, alright? And that is actually basically the end of the chapter. My thoughts on it. It was good, okay? I mean, I said in the last episode that I didn't really like the lore. I didn't really like how the lore was just, like, getting too long. I still don't, but, like, development at least, so yay? Alright? I do find it confusing and slightly worrying that Tonikaku Scans hasn't been able to upload a chapter now for the past 2 weeks. I think the last time they couldn't do it was like a couple weeks ago, but then again, that was just because I'm guessing something happened. But yeah, no, it is slightly confusing and worrying that they haven't uploaded. Hopefully they don't go back to what they did back in the pandemic days, because that was not fun, I'll tell you that, alright? So, apart from that, I have nothing interesting left to say. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and yeah, goodbye.